That new music can only mean one thing. It's the first episode of Jarrod and Julie on TV. Hello, everyone. My name is Jarrod.
My name's Julie.
If you don't know and you're new to this show, we were formerly the Duffy Dome, and we were covering the program Heels, and we, ran out of show to cover. So we decided to move on to the world of TV shows that are not Heels, hence the name change. And we have decided to go with Suits LA.
I've never seen Suits, normal Suits.
It's okay. I've seen one episode, but...
Okay. Is that like a bad thing?
No, from what I'm understanding, you don't have to know everything about Suits to watch Suits LA. If you know Harvey Specter, then you're okay.
I don't, but I'm sure you'll fill me in.
I can give you like 4 YouTube clips and you'll be ready to go.
Okay.
All right. Funny story before we get started on Suits LA. You heard that new music. While you were gone today, I've been scrambling because usually we just steal music from Heels. And then we get flagged on YouTube because we use the music and then we use the clips.
Is that bad? Are we in trouble?
We're not monetizing, so that's not a problem.
Okay.
But I wanted to try and make something myself. I spent an hour and a half today while you were gone making 2 different songs.
Okay.
An intro and an outro. I showed our daughter what I was doing, and she was like, "Show me what you're doing." And in 10 minutes, that intro that you just heard is what she did.
Our 8-year-old.
Yes. She told me when I was playing her I told you, I was like, I don't know why, but I'm just making like really dark rock songs and I can't help it.
It was very ominous.
She said, "Daddy, it sounds like a bad guy wrestler." Just for the hell of it, this is the song that I was like, hey, this will sound good for our TV review show.
Tell them what I told you, what show I told you it would go with.
I don't remember.
If we were reviewing Interview with the Vampire.
Oh. So yeah. So we're going with what the 8-year-old made. That might end up being the outro too, until I can find something better. Or
it is very good for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10-minute tutorial.
I spent an hour and a half, and all she asked was like, how do I switch instruments?
She's in there right now doing some more of it.
She's making beats, yeah. All right, so let's get to Suits LA because, Heels adjacent. And hopefully, like, if we keep watching on Netflix and hitting the double thumbs up.
I have double thumbs upped it.
Then maybe we'll get some Heels in the off season of Suits LA.
That would be wonderful.
Suits LA, Season 1, Episode 1, 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
Ooh.
Starring Stephen Amell, Josh McDermitt, Bryan Greenberg, and Lex Scott Davis. And this episode is directed by Victoria Mahoney and written by Suits creator Aaron Korsh.
Regular Suits creator.
Okay. That pandemic binge watching just revitalized Suits, and here we are.
It could do the same for Heels. Like, people could watch Heels enough that they could bring it back.
But we're moving on to Suits LA.
Yes.
All right, let's get right into it.
Okay.
So much to talk about.
It was an action-packed episode.
Oh my God. It felt like it was like front-loaded with information, and
they just threw you right into it. I was very confused at first. I mean, I'm still confused, but...
Yes. So our episode starts out with a flashback to New York City in 2010, and where Ted, played by Stephen Amell, is talking to a client, and he's giving him an ultimatum about you need to go through with what you've been told to do. Like,
it's like a mob case.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like things I'm sure will get revealed later on.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's like, I've busted my ass getting this to work out, and if things don't happen, then,
He's very he's playing a game with, not like playing a game, but he's kind of tricking him. Kind of like, if you don't do this by the time I get done with lunch, then.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like, I mean, if you see the preview, you're just waiting for the explosion to happen because it was in the commercial.
Oh, I didn't watch the preview, I guess. I didn't watch that part. I was thinking there's going to be like a gunshot or something. I was waiting for that. I wasn't.
No, there was a kaboom.
You were waiting for a boom boom.
Yes,
And
I was like, this is
a
all
gunshot.
going to end in an explosion. And sure enough, he gets out on the porch and goes to the street, and he's like, get back inside. You don't want anything to happen to you. Kaboom. And then Ted wakes up, and he's woken up from a nightmare, and his brother is there to talk to him and say, hey, what happened? He's like, I'm still thinking about New York.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother's like, since you're up, do you want
some pancakes?
Do you want pancakes? He's like, yeah. It's a big day because, again, we're front loaded with information. There's a huge merger coming.
Meeting all of these characters.
As we get introduced to Stuart.
I didn't like Stuart.
Stuart is walking in before the partner meeting, and they say, hey, there's a meeting coming up, but there's been a murder.
Dun, dun, dun.
So he needs to drop everything and go speak to his client. Tell them we'll make a decision by
the end of the day.
By the end of the day. So we know that we've got a big merger coming. There's going to be a lot of moving parts. And then we get Ted talk. Obviously, we're in Los Angeles now. And this is more... We find there's a criminal division and there's a Hollywood division.
An entertainment
division. Thank you. And that they're doing some of the work that you would think that agents do.
They're very specific, though. They're like, we're not agents.
Yeah.
We're your lawyers.
Ted is talking to Dylan about a deal, and he gets her big money. And it's all just a strategy to get her to sign with their firm. There's all this set up with Rick.
There's a lot of trickery.
Same
kind of trickery.
They turn up the heat in the room. There's a timing thing about, hey, you walked in late when I was talking about the merger, but we're going to get her to trust you. And he says something to her. He says, I can walk away from any deal at any time. He wants her to sign with the firm, and if she doesn't do it today, he's walking away. So this is just business as usual for them.
But she wants him to be her lawyer, not somebody else. She wants him.
But
are you going to make time for me?
But you can tell that they've had this system down, Rick and Ted.
Mm-hmm.
And so she, of course, will sign with them because he gets them a lot of money and has impressed them. Things I didn't realize. I didn't realize that John Amos would be playing himself.
I did not realize that about this series, that celebrities would be playing themselves.
The late John Amos.
Yes.
In one of his final roles.
He did a great job.
He's looking for an audition, and he's talking to Rick. God damn. Sorry, I keep forgetting everyone's
gotta learn
name.
Their names.
I've got it written in the notes, but I have to look down. Rick, played by Bryan Greenberg, who I remember from One Tree Hill.
Oh, I never watched One Tree Hill.
He was in One Tree Hill, and he was also in How to Make It in America. Great HBO show. And he was also in his own show on ABC that was called October Road.
Oh.
So that's where I know him from, because we always play that game of how do I know this person?
Well, yeah, because I was like, how do I know this Stewart guy?
I didn't know how I know Stewart.
I looked it up, and I think I know him from The Walking Dead.
Oh, I never watched it.
But I stopped watching The Walking Dead after a certain point, so I think that's how I know him. But now I'm like, I feel like I know him from something else, so I'm going to have to investigate this.
Speaking of Stewart, he is having a discussion with his client about
the
murder, and if it was self-defense or was it murder or what actually happened.
What defense they should take.
Yeah, just say it was self-defense.
It's obvious he doesn't believe him, though.
Yeah. And it's just, again, many moving parts. Find me a witness.
Yes.
All right.
Who's his client? It's Kevin Weiss.
Yes, playing the role of Lester Thompson.
So he's not playing himself.
No. Did you think he was?
I don't know his actual. I didn't know his actual name, so I couldn't tell if he was playing himself or not.
Okay. Well, I don't even know if they said his name that much, but
yeah,
we just know that he is part of. He's obviously a big client because he's like a producer, and so he's like, "Hey, get me out of this." Moving back to the office, we see Ted focusing on the merger, and we find out that his father is in hospice, and he just doesn't care.
It's not that he doesn't care. He actively
hates
his father.
Avoids the issue.
And like, I can't tell if she's like his secretary and she's trying to get him to go and like forgive his father and go back to New York and see him. And he's like, no, thank you. I will not do that. So it's very intriguing. Like what happened, you know?
And on that note, as we discuss his father, we get a flashback to him talking to his father. And it seems like his father was convicted of something but got out.
Yeah, it's very unclear. Like, was he convicted and then got out and then was successful again?
And then like started a new family, it seems.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
sure we'll find out, I
yeah.
guess.
His dad is like, come with me. I know you're working really hard on this case, but come with me and I'll put you.
You'll be a partner.
You'll be a partner. I'll put you at the front of the line. You don't have to do all this hard work. Just let me do this. And he was just like, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to skip the line.
I don't want to skip to the front of the line. And
love that. Love that about him.
Yeah.
But it's very different from how he appears now, kind of.
Well, it's a funny thing. It's like, how much of that is hatred towards his father and how much of that is actual, I don't want to skip to the front of the line. I'm going to earn this.
Yeah.
Now, this part right here, again, I've seen a lot of commercials, so I was assuming things.
Oh.
Ted is all in on the merger, and he's talking with Stewart. He's like, hey, man, I'm all in. Let's sign this thing. They sign the papers. And Stewart's like, let's celebrate. And it's like, it's 15 years to the day since I moved to LA and 12 years since we started this thing from the ground up. Mm-hmm. And I looked over at you and I was like, he's going to die now. Because they're setting up too many good memories.
No, and you thought Stewart was going to die. There's going to be like a funeral. And I was like, no, this dude's a shady MF. He's shady. I didn't like him at all. I don't like his shady beard. Like everything about him is shady. Like I don't like him.
So there's a lot of positioning in the firm because everyone knows that the merger is coming and there's new opportunities for everyone. And Rick wants the promotion to head of TV.
He's been told that he's getting the promotion to head of entertainment.
But also Erica wants that same position. So there's a who deserves it more, who is more equipped to take that position. Mm-hmm. And so there's a juggling act that is going on.
We kind of distrust her a little bit. They kind of make you not like her very much.
Yes.
In the beginning.
So as the day ends, Ted and Stewart go to celebrate. They have, a meal at a restaurant and they're just like, oh.
The Waldorf Astoria.
Stewart's doing all these things. They're like, oh, let's go to the old bar. Let's go to the old place. Let's do all this.
Gets very intoxicated.
And as that's happening, we go to another flashback. And again, the person who was in the explosion has died.
Yes, his witness.
From the flashback. This is so...
Billy? Is that his name?
I don't remember. It's just like they like the first 30...
So much information.
The first 30 minutes, my notes were like 3/4 of the page. I was like, they're giving us so much information. It just took so long. There was something about the guy died and he tells the doctors like, can you not tell anyone he's dead? Because we need to do something. And the doctor's like, you have 24 hours.
He's going to figure out.
So we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Because it's been referenced a few times. Like, what happened in New York.
Well, and he said in the first part of the episode he took down mob bosses. So it's kind of insinuated that he won.
But at what cost?
Yeah, but he might have done something a little shady to win.
Now, as we come back to present day, the 25th floor is completely empty. Ted gets a phone call. Stewart has taken everyone. In fact, in honor of our first episode, in honor of Stewart being a bad guy,
I was right. I just want to say
you were right.
I was right.
I'm going to play our bad guy music because Stewart took over the firm and stole all the people. How could you, Stewart?
I was right.
And everything he was offended by something that Ted had said a year ago.
That he was a flea.
Bum bum.
We just have that music on standby for when
that
bad
is
guy
now
things happen.
that is now the bad guy button. It can be requested and it can be used at any time. Because I'm gonna, and also I'll just like, if you're an independent professional wrestler and you want that music, totally I'll hook you up.
Bad guy music.
So they're scrambling to find everyone and like who is left, who has stayed, who is still a client.
Get a couple of them back.
And we meet up with Amanda, who apparently runs the pro bono division.
I love her only because I remember her from Lost, and I was like, the Lost girl.
Maggie Grace?
Yes.
And wasn't she Californication too?
I did not watch Californication. You were the one who watched that television series.
She was Faith in Californication, who I think Hank Moody should have been with in the end. But that's a different show.
Okay.
Now, he's telling everyone, like, we got to do all this stuff, and he talks to Amanda, and he says, hey, what do you do here? I need you to help out. And she's like, I've got pro bono work to do. And he's
she
like,
rents an office from them.
yes. He's like, I'll give you $100,000 to do this work for me. And she's like, I'm super rich, so I don't need your money. And so they're still scrambling, and he goes to confront Stewart. And again, Stewart is like, I remember what you said, and you deserve everything I've done to you. And if you come after me, I'll tell everyone about New York.
I know all your secrets.
Yeah. So,
but he says some crappy things about some of their clients or some of their people that Ted is trying to steal, and he secretly records it because he's kind of sneaky.
So yeah, that he shows that guy what Stewart said about him.
So that's how he steals back a couple of their peeps.
Yes. And so there's backdoor dealings and everybody's just trying to figure things out. And then we have Rick and Erica arguing about who's going to get the promotion, who deserves the promotion. There's just a lot of jockeying for position.
Is there still a promotion without the merger?
And yeah, and then Ted has tasked Erica with locking down as many clients as she can. And then Ted says to Rick, hey, and then Rick's already knows this. He's like, you're going to make us co-heads of entertainment. He's like, and that's what I would do. And I understand.
I feel like we missed the part where Stewart has called her on the phone. Because I feel like that's already happened.
Yeah, we did. Or it's happening right here. Yes, Stewart has called Erica and he's like, hey, I want you to spy for me.
Be my spy. 007.
Stay around for 6 months and I'll
give you money and then I'll make you a partner.
So we've got a double cross coming.
But they've kind of set you up to think that she's not awesome and that we should not like her very much. And they kind of make you think that she's taking the deal and that, you think that she's a shady person too.
Yes. There is a football reference.
There's a football reference. I didn't.
You didn't understand.
I had to look at you and wait for the commercial break for you to explain it to me.
Said, do you want Kirk Cousins or Patrick Mahomes? It's the fourth quarter and you need a score. Kirk Cousins is a very fine quarterback. Upper mid-tier. And he's moved from a couple of teams, but Patrick Mahomes is a superstar and very clutch in the fourth quarter. So basically he's saying, I'm a superstar and I'm going to get the job done. So that's the quarterback quote.
I don't remember. And this is like Ted saying that
Yes.
to the murder guy.
I think so.
Yeah, he's like, because he goes to try to get the murder client back.
That's right. Yes, that's the one part I missed in my notes. That must have been when I was eating. I did take a quick time out to eat.
Because he tries to go get back that client, and he's like, you just convinced me to go with Stewart. And he's like, listen, football reference that Julie had no idea what was going on.
Yes.
Totally over my head. Do not understand. Very, contextually appropriate to the target audience for the show. But I do not understand. And
well, I kind of...
Thank you for clearing it up for me, because I did not understand.
Now, earlier in the episode, a lawyer named Leah comes up to Rick and asks to be part of his team.
He's like, no.
Yeah, and he's like, no, you work for Erica. I'm not going to steal you from her. If you got a problem with her,
go talk to her.
Go talk to her. The thing about Leah is that she finally, with all this stuff going on, she gets the nerve to talk to Erica. And she says, I need to be...
I want more responsibility.
Yeah, I want to be...
She wants to be a part of things. And Erica's like, fine, get in here and close the door.
She's like, I'm going to tell you why I can't do that.
For 6 months.
For 6 months, which
and then we were like,
mysteriously seems like the time frame. And then apparently she tells Leah what happens because Leah goes straight to Ted and she's like, hey, Erica's working for Stewart. And he runs right into Erica and he's like, get the hell out of my office.
Yeah.
And
so obviously Leah's a tattletale, but loyal to Ted. So good to know.
There's a lot of loyalty being tested, but
like, what's the game she's playing here?
Backdoor dealings. And that's when Erica tells Ted, like, hey,
this was a test.
This was a test on Leah. But also, you might want to realize that if Stewart has made this offer to me, he also has made this offer to Rick.
Then he goes and finds
the letter from Rick saying, I don't want to be like you. Here's some of the things you did that make me not want to be here.
Then your sentiment towards Rick changes because this whole episode is really making you be like, Rick is a nice person and we like him and he seems like a genuinely sweet dude because he likes
John Amos
and he's advocating for these clients and now you're like, oh, what a jerk.
In professional wrestling terms, it's a swerve.
Swerve.
We've been swerved because we thought that it was going to be Ted and Rick saving everything and that Erica was going to be either the rat or the one to betray Ted.
But no. She is. It appears right now that she is not.
Yes. And so after reading, or Ted goes into his office and there's John Amos. Still waiting. They said they were going to call him, and he's still waiting there. And he kind of schools Ted on life.
Gives him some life advice.
And tells him, hey, you need to get to see your dad, and this is not about forgiving him. This is for you.
I'm just confused about how John Amos knows about the situation. But
it seems like his secretary told him.
Oh, okay.
Because he's been there. And he's do it for yourself.
My therapist would agree with him.
And then we get to a scene of Erica talking strategy with a woman that I'm assuming is her mother, but I'm not sure.
I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, there's a lot of groundwork being laid on this show, and we're getting pieces of the story, and I know you hate when shows happen like this, but you've got...
there's a lot of rich characters, obviously, in this show, which I do like. I like a very good, I like a big cast with rich characters, so I'm excited.
We're being dropped in a moment.
Yeah.
And so there's not a lot of watching something get built up. It's just like, this is happening. This is the event. Here's what's going on and go.
It's good for my ADHD because it's like boom, boom,
good
boom, boom, boom,
God.
boom, 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 boom.
Yes, there's a lot of scene changes, but the flashbacks were really getting to me because we get back to it really quickly. It seems that Ted has summoned Erica back to the office.
Yes.
And he tells her, hey, I want you to stick around. And I want to know why you did.
Yeah.
And she says, I heard a conversation between you and Stuart. Stuart only wanted me to take
diversity clients.
And you said, no, let's throw her in the deep end.
She'll sink or swim.
100 to 1, she swims. And I'll take that bet 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. There's your episode title.
Which makes me think like, okay, are we going to have quotes from, are all the episode titles going to be quotes?
It's going to be find the quote in the episode.
That'll be fun. Right there. I mean, it's like right there, but they have a lovely little negotiation, which I like.
It's a lot to ask to be partner, but she says you're taking on a murder client and you're going to need me to take all your clients. So I need to be partner. Yeah. So that's deal. And then we flash back again to 1993. Ted is with his brother, Eddie, and they're talking about how their dad left, and Eddie thinks it's because of him. Mm-hmm. And they're having a little discussion about that. And then it goes back to New York, and Ted meets Kevin. He's from the hospital flashback scene. He seems to have been a partner when they're discussing, like, oh, the guy died.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's like, this is all something we need to figure out. Mm-hmm. Meets back up with him, and he says, I need your help with a murder case.
The one from Scranton, Pennsylvania?
Yes, the one he was like, I'm going to have to be a prosecutor in Scranton.
He's got that Scranton pride.
And he says something condescending about Scranton. And the guy's like, I'll do it for $200,000. And he says, I can't do it for anything under $400,000.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, I need your help.
I like that he's bringing him in because I liked him in that flashback.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that he's actually going to be like kind of on the cast more regularly.
Yeah.
And he needed to bring someone in to help investigate, like, and because he kept saying, find the witness. Like, he needs to have someone in to help investigate and find the witness.
And it seems like he is the connection to Harvey from the commercial, because he's like, but I'm sure we'll get to that later. We still haven't had the Suits connection yet.
No, I didn't expect that in the first episode.
I did. I thought that was like everybody's going to watch to be like, oh, there's Harvey.
No, I mean, I saw him in the one commercial I saw that did not have an exploding house in it, but I don't expect to see him in the first episode now, or even the second one.
Well, it'll be like, and just like that, when Samantha shows up, they talk about it all year, and then she shows up.
I did not watch that show.
I know. That's for our listeners. So we get back to New York, and Ted sits with his dad in hospice, and his dad's, definitely towards the end, because they said he's got a few days to live. So he's at that point where it's just, I'm sure, a matter of time. And he says to him, all the reasons why he doesn't deserve forgiveness or love or anything. And then he says,
you're the reason my brother died.
Yeah, and you didn't even come to his funeral.
And we were like, what?
I was like, oh, no. His brother's been dead the whole time?
The whole time? They pulled like a Sixth Sense thing on us.
My God.
On top of all of this. Like, there's been a Sixth Sense thing going on.
He's been talking to his deceased brother.
He has not been there.
The whole
time. Which is why in that flashback scene, it's the same actor. And we both were like, in that flashback scene with the brother, why didn't they get a different actor? Like, why does he look the same? And then in my brain, I'm like, why is he always wearing the same clothes? Like, why is he always wearing the same clothes? We talked to him, and then I was like, maybe he just really likes wearing the same outfit. But no, he's not really there.
Yeah, and it was said in such a way that it was like, it wasn't like a dun dun dun. It was just like a, you're the reason.
You'll miss it.
You're the reason he's dead. And I was like, did I read that right? Like, we were looking at the credits and like,
so is there another brother? Like, is there another one that we miss? Like, it was almost a blink and you'll miss it, like, kind of situation.
So it goes back. When we go back to Los Angeles, Ted comes into the murder trial, and he takes over officially from Stuart.
Isn't it like the arraignment?
Yeah, it's like an arraignment. Yeah. It's like, how does it? And it's like, I've got paperwork to change lawyers here.
Yeah.
And Stuart's like, I can't believe you did this. You're both going to pay for this.
Like,
and
he believes me. So, I mean,
yeah. And he's like, Ted says, hey, you want to talk about New York? I know a lot of stuff about you, so bring it.
I know all your secrets, too.
Yeah, so it's kind of a stalemate.
In that Stephen Amell way. I know all your secrets, too. Thing he does. Like, it's really a very, like, classic signature way that he speaks.
Without his Duffy accent.
Yeah.
And then we go back, and he's having... Ted is back home, and he's having a discussion with Eddie.
With his not there brother. That's
when it's confirmed. He's holding a picture of the two of them together as he's talking to him, saying, I just want to spend the day with you.
It's him as a child.
And then they close in on the picture frame, and then when they back out, Eddie is not there.
He's not there.
Thus confirming the Sixth Sense kind of situation where he's speaking.
He is dead.
To his own dead brother.
Which is like, it does humanize him more, because during this whole thing, you're like, oh God, he's kind of a jerk. Something's stuff happened in New York, I guess, that turned him into a jerk. Because at some point during this episode, he goes and visits his ex-girlfriend, who was part of the merger.
Yes.
Which we did not talk about. But like,
I couldn't figure out who she was and if she had been in earlier scenes. And
she was in a flashback, and all of this stuff is very unclear still, which I'm hoping they clarify for us later, because I'm very confused.
Yeah, if you're coming for clarity on this episode, this is not the place for you.
We're not helpful.
We're just here to speculate.
Wildly unhelpful. We're going to have to watch it again. I do want to watch it again, though, and usually I'm not like a we need to watch this again kind of person, but I do want to watch the episode again before the next episode comes out, so that I'm like, I want to make sure I picked up everything. My little ADHD brain probably did not. He was dating that girl.
In New York.
And now she has a firm, and they were part of the merger, and he went and visited her, and that'll be interesting. It'll be like Dallas.
It'll be a lot of boardroom dealings and stuff like that. It's probably going to be like Suits.
Oh, I've never seen Suits, so I don't know.
All right. So normally when we take on a project, I will watch things and kind of give you the heads up and like consider this, and then you will make a decision. This is something we just decided because it related to the last show we did. How do you feel now, one episode in? How do you feel about Suits LA?
I'm super invested now. And it's not like, it's like a drama, but it's not like a drama that's so depressing and terrible that I'll get like bummed out. You know what I mean? It's not like The Pit.
Yeah.
I got really depressed when we watched the last episode of The Pit. So, FYI, everyone, The Pit's kind of depressing.
I mean, it's about an ER.
So, hey, but this one will be fun. Like a thrilling kind of drama.
Based on the previews that I've seen, there's enough celebrity cameos that'll lighten the mood, but there's still going to be those dark elements.
Yeah.
But
you can use the bad guy button. Like, that'll be fun.
Yeah. But I'm in. Like, this took me by surprise because I thought it was going to be kind of goofy, like bubbly.
I like the back and forth. I like that I was surprised. I also like that I was right about one thing. But I like that I was surprised about several of the turns that it took in the first episode. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm excited to see how things play out. And because now I'm invested and I want to know what the hell happened in New York. Like, what happened? What's going on?
I believe we've got a winner here, and I'm sure that the ratings will show that. I've only seen one preview online that was like, ugh, this isn't good.
Really?
Yeah, everything else I've seen is like, this might be better than the original.
What did they think was not good?
I tried not to read it to avoid spoilers. I can probably update you next episode.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about that next episode.
Let's talk about some thoughts on
I disagree. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not like a TV connoisseur, but like,
this
was good. Like, this was really good.
Yes, so that's our first episode.
Prepare yourself to be just kind of bounced around, though.
I mean, if you're listening to this, you've probably watched the episode already.
And be confused.
If you haven't, then a lot of what we talked about will make no damn sense. But I believe that we've got a winner here, and we're looking forward to covering the rest of the season. Now we get to the part where I talk about all the ways you can find us on the internet. You can search YouTube for Jarrod and Julie on TV. You can also search the hashtag JXJTV. We are on Blue Sky at jxjtv.bluesky.social. I keep trying to change our Twitter name. Like, our username's still the Duffy Dome, but if you search Jarrod and Julie on TV, we're there. I haven't made an Instagram yet. I need to make an Instagram, but if you're hearing us, you either just found us or you've been a loyal follower, and we thank you for listening. And join us next week for the next episode of Suits LA. Until then, my name is Jarrod.
My name's Julie.
Should we just go with the intro music as our outro music too?
I mean, I guess for now,
Unless
until
you
find something less depressing and ominous sounding and dark.
Dark wrestling heel entrance.
I don't feel like Suits LA is that dark right now.
All right. Well, then, let's just take it home. See you next time.